Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are here. We are in the final stretch, the last leg of the NFL season, regular season, and most importantly on Sunday mornings for us right now during this 1 hour period, fantasy football. Some people may have even started their playoffs this week already, and if not, you're gearing up for the playoffs next week and the week after. Myself and the greatest co-host in all of the universes, galaxies, worlds, continents, oceans, lands, and airwaves, Mr. Awthentik. We're going to go ahead and give you guys and gals some people to sit, some people that you might not know about that could potentially help you get into the fantasy playoffs. We're also going to pick each and every single game on the slate. Don't forget to drop all your questions related to your fantasy football lineups in a chat below. And we're going to answer those as we go throughout the entire show. Without further ado, let me bring in the man, the myth, and the legend. Even though he's shaking his head, he is all three and then some. Mr. Awthentik, come on in, bud.
Just a regular dude. I'm just a regular dude. I don't know how many times I got to keep telling you I'm just a regular dude. What's poppin',
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you that you're not just a regular dude. You're
Everybody
authentic.
needs a friend like the beard, you know? Hype you up, make you feel better than you really are about yourself. You know, you can walk through life feeling confident, strutting, having a little pimp walk and whatnot on a Sunday morning. You know, I like it.
Man.
I like
nothing
it. I like it.
Nothing like a pimp walk with a nice bathrobe and a cup of coffee and a good mug.
I'm not a bathrobe type of dude. I did have some coffee. It's right here. I didn't finish it because it was getting me a little bit wired a little bit. But
I've never worn a bathrobe. I used to back in the day, but I haven't worn a bathrobe in a long time. What is the actual purpose of a bathrobe?
It's a big ass towel. You know, you could dry off while you're getting ready, pretty much.
Okay, interesting.
Or you know, you got a little swanky date or something like that. You know, and you have your his and hers bathrobe. You know,
yeah, like at the honeymoon suite.
Exactly.
Okay.
What's the name of the big suite? I thought there's a different name, not the honeymoon
The
suite.
presidential suite?
We'll call it the presidential suite for now, so we can move on.
Penthouse suite. Penthouse. It's called a penthouse.
The penthouse suite. There we go.
I'll tell you, it was interesting. I was at a card show this weekend in Westminster, and
I haven't been out there since we went to the skate park when we were kids.
My gosh, it's completely different now. There's actually like things out there. The Ric Flair was there.
Oh, word, that's what's up.
Bo Jackson.
That's fire.
Roquan Smith was there also, and some
shout out to Roquan Smith calling out teams' plays. You know,
yeah. So it's pretty interesting lineup of people at a very smaller show than those normal big ones that I go to. But big shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the love and all the support. Everybody watching us across all of the platforms, whichever platform you may choose to partake in Awthentik and the Beard. We're excited. I'm amped up. I'm on a bye week and I'm amped up. I don't know what I'm so amped up for. I don't know. Sometimes
you're amped up for the Giants win today. The Giants are going to win today.
I saw the meme. The best part was that they hit you with the chill, and then Awthentik got to come with the cat chill emoji.
Absolutely.
Cat chill meme or
Absolutely.
GIF, whatever they call them these days. The kids do, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun today. We enjoy talking football. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed some of those college football games. I know the New York Giants got their eyes on some prospects going into next season, and then I'll tell you, it was really crazy. The latest mock draft I saw had the Washington Commanders taking Gentry. Very interesting. I don't think it'll happen.
If he gets there, I don't think that'll happen either. I mean, y'all are pretty set at the running back position, but some depth couldn't hurt. But Gentry's going to come in and be a running back one.
He is such an absolute dog. Absolute dog. But don't forget to get those questions in the chat. We got a couple we're going to start off with, and then we'll get to some sits and starts, and we'll pick every single game on the slate. Should be a lot of fun. But big shout out to our guy, your guy, everybody's guy, Mr. Juan Pena Jr. says, ¿Qué pasa, muchachos? Should I pick up Kraft for tight end depth? I got Kittle.
Kraft's been playing some really good ball lately, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco's dealing with the quarterback situation with Brock Purdy having a shoulder injury. I don't think it could hurt you. I mean, Kraft has been as a fantasy player right now, he seems like a guy that you feel like, is that kind of fluke? And then you're just saying that week after week after week after week, and I think he's here to stay. So, I mean, if he's out there, I would acquire him.
Yeah, 100%. I think that it would be a smart move. I mean, the thing is Kittle, right? But the San Francisco 49ers, we have to come to a realization that they're not the San Francisco 49ers of the last couple of years. They're just not, and it's okay. People have down years and teams suffer massive amounts of injuries and tough schedules, and it happens. So I think that Kraft is probably a more consistent play right now than Kittle is as a whole. I mean, and so, you can want to play your matchup as far as, which one you think is the best matchup moving forward these next couple of weeks. But I would 100% be picking up Kraft. I actually have him in a couple of teams already. So definitely something I would be doing if I was you, Juan. And Juan coming back to back. Who for my wide receiver 2, running back 2, and flex. He's already got Justin Jefferson in wide receiver 1, Kyron, who should have a big game, at running back 1. His bench consists of Juwan Jennings, Xavier Worthy, Jacoby Myers, Darnell Mooney, Westbrook Nkine, Charbonnet, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He has Breece Hall out for an injury, Kenneth Walker out for an injury, and Ramon Stevenson on a bye.
Okay. So wide receiver 2, running back 2, and flex here. Wide receiver 2, running back 2, and a flex here. So really, wide receiver 2, it's interesting. What Worthy has just not been, he hasn't had the chemistry with Patrick Mahomes as of late.
Bust, yeah.
Jennings is same thing, same kind of vibes. Myers is pretty even. Darnell Mooney pretty even. I like Westbrook Akine as the wide receiver 2 for today. Going up against the Jaguars defense, that defense is absolutely terrible, one of the worst in the league. So I like Westbrook Akine at wide receiver 2, which is a bit of a reach, but I think I'm going to stick with that. Running back.
We basically have Charbonnet. That's it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Charbonnet's your guy. You don't really sound like he doesn't really have anybody else at the running back position, which is fantastic that you have Charbonnet. I expect Charbonnet to have a big game today.
Yeah, he's been good filling in for Walker.
Now we're just looking in at a because I agree with you with Westbrook Akine. So now we're really just going to be picking who we're going to put in the flex out of the rest of those wide receivers.
49ers got the Bears today. Chiefs got the Chargers, right?
Yes. Sunday night football.
It's a good defense. Atlanta's in a spot where Cousins has to play well in this game. Going up against his former team too. That's a tough matchup against Brian Flores.
I like Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I think I like Myers as well too.
So, I mean, it's tough, I know, but he's consistent. Like, I feel like he's going to get you, like, somewhere between 7 and 13 points.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Aiden O'Connell, they seem to have been throwing the ball fairly well with Aiden O'Connell last week. I mean, they lost a heartbreaker, but I think your best bet's going to be with Jacoby Myers in your flex. We'll go Westbrook in your wide receiver 2, and obviously Charbonnet as your running back 2.
That's interesting this late in the season. It's interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a funky.
If it's not Myers, I would consider Worthy. Just big spot game.
Yeah, Sunday night football. It's always fun when you have a guy on Sunday night or Monday because you feel like you're not completely out of it, even though you might be down by like 40 points. You're like, there's still a chance, Yeah. So it's that's something to definitely think about right there, Juan. And big shout out to okay, here we go. Here goes the beard. Captain L. Oh.
Where'd the L come from?
Is after the T. There's an L. Capital Insano 17.
Okay, I thought it was Captain at first.
That's what I did too. I think it's Capital Sano.
There isn't, or Captain
maybe like Insano.
Yeah, like Captain Insano with Cap
17.
Kinda.
That's what we're going to go with. Captain Insano 17 says, "What's up, fellas? Need to play 2 of the following." I feel like we're going to have a lot of these names in the mix here today. Yeah. Juwan Jennings, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, I think has been ruled out, if I'm not mistaken, and Westbrook Akine. I mean,
2 of the following.
Assuming I'm correct about Keelan Coleman, I believe Keelan Coleman is out. I'm going to go Westbrook, and I know Awthentik wants to go Xavier Worthy.
Well, it's two of them, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
are you thinking instead of Juwan Jennings?
Yeah, I think I have to go Juwan Jennings. He's been the only person on that team that has been putting up fantasy points at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel has been awful fantasy wise. So I mean, I would go Westbrook and Juwan Jennings. That's where I would go. Captain
Juwan Jennings has the 3 touchdowns against the Rams, but before that, he hadn't had a touchdown in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
What's his receptions though? I mean, I'm assuming this is PPR. He's got to have at least 4 catches.
He had an anomaly game, just an outlier game against the Rams. 11 receptions for 12 targets for 175 yards. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, he had 5 for 64 against the Jets, 4 for 37 against the Vikings. He had 3 for 88 against the Patriots before that. 1 for 13 yards, 3 for 27, 7 for 93. So he's been a little inconsistent, and he doesn't score touchdowns. He has 4 on the season, 3 in 1 game against the Rams. Yeah, give me Westbrook, Akine, and Xavier Worthy. Like I said, I like the spot. I just like the Sunday Night Football spot. I think that's a place where he can maybe make some big plays.
I'm not mad at it at all. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into some sections here. We're going to talk about some people that we're going to be sitting. Don't forget to put all of your fantasy football questions in the chat below. Up next, we're going to give you, guys and gals, some players that we think you should be sitting this week. All right, Coach Awthentik, I'm going to let you take the lead here. We got to get you a whistle, man.
I'm good on the whistle, man.
Whistle?
I'm good on the whistle, man. I'm good on the whistle. What am I going to blow the whistle live on air?
Like a ropeless whistle.
Ropeless? What is it? Pinned to the shirt?
No, you wear it like a ring.
Oh, man, the beard is on today. All right, let's start off with these players that I'm going to be sitting today. One that we have in common, I'll start with, is Chuba Hubbard going up against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. Hubbard has just 6 runs over 10 yards. That's in 5 games. Just 2 of his 7 touchdowns have came on the road as well. Only had 12 attempts last week, his fewest since week 1. 0 targets in the pass game. The Eagles have allowed the 3rd fewest points to running backs all year. You saw what they did to Derrick Henry just a week ago. That's a tough matchup. I'm not saying he can't play well, but it's one where I would consider sitting him on the bench today. Romo Dunze, a guy who's actually been on my bench for about like 3 to 4 weeks now. 4 straight games under 9 fantasy points. He's cracked 10 points just 2 times all year. Hasn't scored a touchdown in 9 weeks, and in fact, only has 1 receiving touchdown on the year. And you could chalk a lot of that up to the offensive coordinator and the scheme and the system over there with the Bears, but also it's a lot of chefs in that kitchen, man, with Keenan Allen coming on as of late. DJ Moore being inconsistent, but the one wide receiver who does have a big game over there when they do is DJ Moore. And last but not least, Kareem Hunt, who it's really unfortunate. There are a lot of teams out there that could use a solid running back like Kareem Hunt.
Now.
Especially right now. Kareem Hunt was on an absolute tear. He had double-digit fantasy points in 6 of his last 7 games. Pacheco returned. Hunt got 7 attempts on the day. It was Hunt's first time under 14 attempts in a game all year long. So you already know what the hierarchy is over there with the Chiefs. Kareem Hunt's going to be taking a back seat to the number 1 running back. It's unfortunate for him, but I do think that he's made a good bid for a job next year for a team if it's not going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, because he ran well this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you with Chuba, and it's difficult for me because when we talked about this game on Tuesday, I talked about how Carolina's been playing well, and if they want to have a shot in this game, they're going to need Chuba Hubbard to be somewhat successful. But it's just a bad recipe, it feels like. Jonathan Brooks came back for his first game last week, and he took 9 out of the 21 running back opportunities away from Chuba Hubbard right there. So now you're losing some, steam to a new running back, which is weird to me. They drafted a running back, then Chuba has a good year. Then they give him a big deal, and then
I like it.
It's
the plan that I had wished that they would have done with Saquon years ago. Is like,
yeah.
Don't think because you have a running back 1 that you have a running back room. It's very different.
That's a very, very good point, and trust me, that has been something that Awthentik has been talking about for a very long time for the New York Giants. So, Philadelphia, you talked about some of the statistics that they've been doing. Do you know how many people have ran for over 100 yards this season against the Philadelphia Eagles?
I'm going to say 1.
0.
0.
They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher all season. So, and listen, Chuba Hubbard, I mean, the Carolina Panthers, I think, have the lowest team total number on today of all the games, and I think they're probably the highest number on the underdog. So I think they got jumped up. I think they're 13.5-point underdogs currently. So the game script doesn't really play well for Chuba Hubbard either. So I'm going to double down on Chuba Hubbard being benched with Awthentik there. And then another guy I'm going to talk about is Quentin Johnson. Okay, listen. This guy we talk about boom and bust a lot when we're talking about some of these players in fantasy football, because consistency is so underrated in fantasy football. I really feel like, sometimes like a guy like Tyler Lockett, he's had a down year in his standards. But I mean, the guy gets you like 7 to 10 points. He's a low end option. But like, there's guys that sometimes they just get you zeros, and like that is the absolute worst. Having the donuts, I love donuts. Right? 7-Eleven, best donuts in the world. Okay, but
now you lost me. No way.
Yeah.
No way, bro. Listen, don't take that advice from him right there. 7-Eleven, best donuts in the world. So 7-Eleven got better donuts than a Krispy Kreme donut. You're telling me
by a mile.
By a mile.
Them
old ass donuts that've been sitting up there all damn day.
That's the thing, man. You when was the last time you had a 7-Eleven glazed donut?
Sometime along the road with you a couple years ago.
Exactly.
They're terrible.
They're
glazed.
fantastic.
Their glazed is very artificial as well. Best donuts right now. You got to go to the grocery store, bro. I'll guarantee you this, and we can go around. I'll take you around a Giant on a fresh day when they first let out all the baked goods. There's no way 7-Eleven has a better donut. And then I got to walk up in there and it's smelling like God knows what up in there. All kind of processed microwave foods and shit. And come on, man. Miss me, but the 7-Eleven got the best donuts in the world?
Craig.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Whose man's is this, man? Awthentik and whose man's is this?
So Sarah, that's a good title for a show, everyone.
Ain't it right? Awthentik and whose man's is this right here?
Big shout to Sarah in the chat. She agrees with me. She says QJ is booty. So listen, it's been rough for him the last couple of games.
Okay, yeah, QJ. She agrees with you on QJ. Okay,
yeah,
I thought that was some hidden code for 7-Eleven donuts for a second there.
No, she agrees with me that 7-Eleven donuts are the best. So, last 2 games, Quentin Johnson has 9 targets. And from those 9 targets, he has 2 catches for 12 yards, including 4 drops against the Baltimore Ravens 2 weeks ago. And in the first matchup against Kansas City this year in week 4, he had 1 catch for 9 yards. So, Quentin Johnson, you're going to the bench. And
Johnston really has not been consistent or boom or bust. Neither. He has not had
he's had 2 really good games, and they've been recent.
It's like
a 14-pointer.
I think people are just happy to see dude not dropping the ball, and then he's right back to dropping the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough times for QJ. That's a tough one to say too. QJ. QJ. I want to say KJ, but listen, this guy should have been in the sit-him section for a long time now. He's a guy that I've given credit to, but I've also had a love-hate relationship for many years, and that is Mr. Captain Kirk Cousins. Okay,
you never liked Kirk.
I never liked him. I never liked him, but I gave him his flowers when need be. When he came to fantasy. So listen, a lot of people are going to be try to ride the revenge wave here. Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota, revenge game. I don't see it. Don't like the defensive matchup for Kirk Cousins. And listen, he's got 13 interceptions on the year, 6 interceptions in his last 3 games, no touchdowns since week 9, and Minnesota has not allowed a quarterback to score more than 17.2 points in fantasy in the last 5 games. So, once again, the recipe's not there. We're going to sit Kirk Cousins on the bench this week.
That's a tough one to do today. The interception thing is a little bit.
Yeah, because he had the one game with 5 interceptions. But,
It's a little sus, right? Yeah, because Kurt's not a guy who's really known to be turning the ball over like that. But I do feel you on the defensive matchup for sure. I think that the Vikings are definitely going to present an issue for him.
You know what's funny is I see somebody in the chat talking about Kirk Cousins being a Giant next year. That was my prediction. Was that 2 years ago? That Kirk Cousins, before they signed Daniel Jones, that Kirk Cousins was going to be a New York Giant. And
so coming off of 2022, and Kirk ended up playing just one more year there, right? He played 2023 with the Vikings, and then 2024 this year, first year with the Falcons.
So I
don't think they do it not now. No, I think that especially if they keep this regime, they're going to have to move on and go youth at the quarterback position.
What's interesting is Atlanta is in a weird situation. They drafted Michael Penix, right? Kirk Cousins is playing, not playing well. They're 6-6. The division's on the line. At what point do you feel as if like
this is the game right here?
This is the game right here, right? So if Kirk Cousins, like mid-game or after the game?
After the game.
Yeah, I guess.
Unless it's a blowout, maybe late you could see Michael Penix, but I think this will be the first week where you could actually consider bringing in Michael Penix. I mean, what the Falcons are sitting at 500 now, or a game under?
6-6.
They're 6-6. Okay, so they had their bye and all that. Yeah, I mean, I think if he goes out here and he struggles again, listen, I was checking out Brett Coleman. He was talking about this, that if you look at some of the All-22 tape and some of the close-up shots of Michael Penix on the sidelines when Kirk Cousins is playing, that he's holding in faces, knowing that these are plays that he could make. Seeing Kirk Cousins struggling out there and his age catching up to him. I don't know if that's completely 100% true, but Brett Coleman is a guy that's definitely trustworthy.
Yeah, Dilla said in the chat that apparently there was a stat last week. He failed to throw a ball over 34 miles per hour. And that
I don't know I did see that, but I don't know what is the normal
velocity rate of him, or
I think it was
average in the NFL.
I felt like they were doing that at the combine. I felt like that. Maybe it was like throw power or something like that, because I remember they were giving guys rating.
Big shout out to God's Honest Truth. Love that name. Would you play Metcalf? He was on my sit-em section last week, maybe the last 2 weeks. I don't like that matchup. I almost put Geno Smith in the sit-em section again this week. That Arizona matchup.
The Cardinals, right? Yeah. I like the matchup. Division rivalry, Geno gonna show up. Might throw a pick or two here, but I think he's gonna get the ball in the end zone.
It'll be interesting. Metcalf is banged up a little bit too. It depends on what your other options are, to be honest with you. God's honest truth, because unless you have like let's say like a Jalen Waddle, right? Because I feel like a Jalen Waddle Metcalf might be like something that's kind of like a dilemma that a fantasy owner might have. If you had to pick one to play this week, would you pick Jalen Waddle or DK Metcalf?
I'd probably pick DK Metcalf.
So,
but I do like the matchup. I do think that Tua is going to have a pretty good game this week too, which could open up some things. But Jalen Waddle has just been a bit of a letdown.
It's hard
the Jets defense is worse on the road. That's the thing. But
it's hard to judge to a certain extent Waddle and Tyreek Hill, because you had so much of that chunk of that season without Tua,
and haven't played well when Tua's been in the lineup.
Yeah, so it's.
I recommend everybody go check out Alex Rollins' new video. He just released it on Saturday about the Miami Dolphins offense and how they've changed what worked for them last year. They relied on the big play last year, down the middle of the field, and this year, Tua is leading the league in throws behind the line of scrimmage. Patrick Mahomes is second, which is interesting, but he's leading the league in throws behind the line of scrimmage. In the middle of the field, deep down the middle, has not targeted it nowhere near as much as he did last season. So I mean, they're running some creative stuff, and I thought that Rollins did a really good job of highlighting some of those plays. But they've been trying to get their running backs more involved in the passing attack than guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. It's just kind of interesting.
And I think they're going to be without Mostert, most likely. I know we're probably a couple minutes away here from the.
That's the other thing. They haven't been able to run the ball this year.
Yeah,
I mean, Achane and Mostert are both struggling.
Yeah, that offensive line's been a little suspect this year. And
they were suspect last year, and McDaniel was figuring out ways to, cover up the blemishes on their team. Yeah, it was crazy because they didn't have I almost can't even name a guy on their offensive line in Miami.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Sarah. I'm not sure who your other options are. Both your quarterbacks are on a bye. Is Caleb Williams a good option? I don't know if I would call him a good option.
Nope. I don't think he's a good option at all.
Yeah.
49ers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're better suited trying to find somebody else. I mean, listen, Caleb Williams, if you want to, go on a roller coaster ride, if that's what you're looking for as far as options, because I mean, the guy will give you 30 yards in the first half and then end the game with like 206. So it depends on what you're looking for. I personally would look at some other options. I mean, look, your waiver wire is going to be very slim at this point, right?
I like Will Levis, who's going to be out there for sure. Going up against the Jaguars, I like Will Levis more than I would like Caleb Williams today.
So let me ask you this. If you had to choose between I think we're going to both say Will Levis, but let's just throw this out for hypothetical purposes. Would you go Will Levis, Mac Jones, or Aiden O'Connell?
I'd choose between Will Levis and Aiden O'Connell. I don't trust Mac Jones. Like, just think about this, even when he was a starter. Like, when's the last time that dude had a big game? When's the last time you saw Mac Jones put up 3 touchdowns in a game?
Never. Yeah. I don't ever remember. I remember I was off the Mac Jones hype train when everybody was going crazy for Mac.
And he's another guy that had a really good rookie year, though. And people thought that he was headed in the right direction. So it's comparable to Bo Nix a little bit. Like, if Bo Nix, sputters out here in his second year, it's going to look a lot like Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, but yeah, I would see what else you have as far as options go. Big shout out to Lexo24 with the $1.99 super chat. Says, is Neighbors trustworthy?
I mean, I expect him to have a pretty good game today. He's trustworthy to get you about a good 6 receptions, I'd say at least. The end zone part is the problem. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 3.
How much
PPR, you're going to get some points. That's about it.
How much do you think the injuries are going to play a role in today for him?
If he plays, he'll be okay. He's that kind of player where injury don't bother me. He's the kind of guy that if he's out on the field, he's going to make plays.
Big shout out, Lexo24. We appreciate you as always. And big shout out to Duffel Bag Doug, my guy. Love the name. Jake Ferguson is out, right? He's done. I thought he was done for the year.
No, I thought he was back this week,
actually. Is he back this week?
Yeah, I thought he was back this week.
Can never keep up with Jake.
Jake Ferguson had the injury that looked like he was going to be out for a year.
That's right.
I'm going Jake Ferguson over Evan Ingram. I've had Evan Ingram on my fantasy all year long, and I don't even think he's gotten in the end zone one time this year.
He has to have one touchdown, right?
Maybe one. He definitely not been in the end zone a lot. Yeah, 1 touchdown on the year. And it happened in end of October against Green Bay. Evan Ingram has been a major letdown.
That whole team, man.
It's just weird. Like, was Calvin Ridley really galvanizing that wide receiver unit? Like, what's going on? I mean, they did lose Christian Kirk, though.
Yeah.
Like, early on. So, I mean,
Brian Thomas Jr. is having a fantastic year.
Yeah, but that's that New York Giants type of shit where it's like you're relying on Brian Thomas Jr. as a rookie now to lead your wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it tough.
Tough situation.
But he's hooping for sure.
Yeah. Big shout out to Texas Made in the building. Says, morning, gents. A little bottle of Chardonnay. A little bit of Tyrone or Braylon Allen. I'm leaning Tracy because of the matchup.
Yeah, I like Tracy too. Charbonnet's not a bad start either. I think most people would probably go Charbonnet. Tyrone Tracy has been struggling as of late, and they kind of put him in the doghouse after that fumble as well, like giving Devin Singletary more attempts now. But this is a game where if Brian Dable really wants to win the game, he's going to get back to Tyrone Tracy, and I think he wants to win.
I think this is an interesting question and we're going to jump into some running back talk here in a second. I personally, because you guys know, if you watch the show every Tuesday and Thursday here on Awthentik and the Beer at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys know by now that I'm a big Tyrone Tracy guy. I'm a believer. And it's not just a run the damn ball sort of mentality. I mean, that does have a lot to do with it. But I just think that when Tyrone Tracy is playing the way that he has played at his peak during this season, has given the Giants the best chances to win football games, as Awthentik just said. That being said, he would be my third option of these 3 guys. I would put Charbonnet 1. I would put Braylon Allen 2, and I would put Tyrone Tracy 3.
Really?
I love Braylon Allen. I think Braylon Allen is a fantastic running back. I think he can do it all. He can run. He can catch. He's got speed. He's not afraid to run inside. Charbonnet, every time he gets the opportunity, he performs really well. I like the matchup against Arizona. So I would go Charbonnet, Braylon Allen, Tyrone Tracy would be my pecking order there of running backs.
I'm going Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, something about today, and I don't do this a lot, especially with the New York Giants. Something about today just feels like a big win and a big game on the ground. Just a little bit of breaking news here coming out of New York at MetLife Stadium. There's a banner with a small jet airplane flying a banner over the stadium right now, and it says, "Mr. Mara, enough. Please fix this dumpster fire." On the note on the plane and the banner.
You were behind that?
I mean, I don't call for nobody's job or nothing like that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
doesn't sound like he's calling for a job. It just sounds like you're
dumpster fire to me says we need to clean the trash out.
I mean, listen, there's definitely some fires going on there. I mean, they're probably happening in the dumpsters.
If I had to guess, I would say that was probably Chris Peace. That would be my guess. I ain't have nothing to do with that, all right? Don't you dare put that evil on me.
We're going to put up a poll on Twitter. We're going to ask which Giants fan is most likely to be responsible for the flying plane. I'm sure Mara's on the phone with the FAA right now.
Yeah, like how in the hell did y'all let this damn plane get over my stadium?
Is there footage of it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm retweeting.
Is it like
right
one
now.
of those airplanes, like what you see when you're at Ocean City, like go across?
Exactly, little single engine airplane. Yep. Mm-hmm. That'll be like, get your boardwalk fries or whatever the fuck is it? You know what's funny is those fries are called dumpsters.
No. Thrashers is the fries. Dumpsters is the milkshakes.
That's what it was. All right, so I ain't completely tripping.
Jet ski rentals, 49th Street.
That's exactly what it'll say. Yup.
Listen, you guys are getting really close to pre 2025 Washington team territory here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the good thing you have a friend who has experienced what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah, he's been through it. He's been through it.
I'm here for you. But we're going to go ahead and get into the sleeper section. I think that was a nice little transition point there. Not the airplane, but the running back talk. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys some sleepers Week 14 NFL fantasy football. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lead this one off because my sleeper section is a little bit unorthodox, okay? So I, like many of you, are probably in a very tough situation. I have Jonathan Taylor. I have J.K. Dobbins. I have Derrick Henry. I had Jordan Mason. I have Brian Robinson. I mean, the list goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. So just for context purposes here, ladies and gentlemen, it is tough sledding. Okay, and Awthentik will tell you about some tough sledding. This guy right here, he's had some tough sledding moments. I've seen this guy almost get his ear taken off by a muffler. Okay,
yeah, and got up like I'm good, right?
Yeah, and then
literally full speed under a car, hit the muffler with the side of my head, and got up like we good, right?
It's like Spider-Man got bit by a spider and he could like shoot webs, right? Awthentik guy hit with a muffler in his ear and he has the greatest hearing of anybody I've ever met in my entire life. Who would have known
I was going to be an engineer after that move, right?
So listen, this is tough, okay? Just off of the bye weeks, Derrick Henry's on a bye. Joe Mixon is on a bye. Jonathan Taylor is on a bye. Brian Robinson is on a bye. Those are just your bye week running backs, okay? These are your injured running backs. And these are guys that are injured like between last week and now. Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, Breece Hall. You got the Raiders running backs and Zamir White, and you have Alexander Madison. Kenneth Walker's injured. Roshan Johnson is injured. That's another interesting one to watch right there. So, given all those running backs on a bye and all those injured running backs, I created two separate lists. Now, do with these lists as you please, whether it's DraftKings Daily Fantasy, you're looking for a plug-and-play, an emergency situation, or you're looking to stash some people for the playoffs just in case, you need some help at the running back depth position. So I'm going to start with the highest tier, okay? Obviously, we're going to go with Garendo, okay? And I think, Awthentik, you're going to talk a little bit more about him. So
yeah, I'll tap in real quick.
Yeah, tap in right now. Let's do that.
I mean, it's pretty simple. CMC out with the PCL sprain, Jordan Mason out with the ankle sprain. The Bears giving up 135.1 rushing yards per game, and it's Kyle Shanahan. It could be the beard back there playing running back. We're going to get yards. That's just what it is. So, yeah, Guendo, a guy who was very capable in college, too. I would say the sleeper at the running back position in the draft. A lot of people have been waiting for this guy to play, and when he has gotten on the field due to injury, he's already played really well. So, I want to say he was projected for 13 points in my PPR league, so he should have a big day.
Didn't he run the fastest non-wide receiver 40-yard dash at the combine?
I believe so.
4.3?
4.3. Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So he's at the top of the list. Now these guys in this tier might be guys that probably got scooped up in the early edition of this waiver wire week. So maybe you're trying to contemplate which one of these guys to play. I have Guendo at my top guy in this tier as far as these running backs to fill your injures and to fill your buys. Up next on the list is going to be Zach Charbonnet. We've talked about him a bunch already today. After that is Braylon Allen, and then I'm going to throw in Abdullah for the Raiders. So that's kind of like the guys that are probably not available right now, but you might have to be starting these guys, or you're looking to make some lineups there, right? Now, the next tier is going to be guys that have correlation to certain situations that are going to be this week and moving forward, okay? So Travis Homer. DeAndre Swift is coming into this game banged up. DeAndre Swift is coming into this game with under 100 scrimmage yards over the last couple of weeks. Not getting there. And a lot of that had to do with Roschon Johnson. Roschon Johnson is out with a concussion. Travis Homer is next man up. There is nobody else. So it's DeAndre Swift is either going to have a monster game or Travis Homer is going to come out of nowhere like he's playing for the Seattle Seahawks again, okay? Up next, Sincere McCormick. One of the best names in football, if you ask me, okay? Sincere McCormick. He is the next guy in line behind Abdullah in Las Vegas for the Raiders, and he had a really good game last week. So Sincere McCormick is a guy to definitely keep your eye out for, okay? And it's interesting, we're talking about this, and Marjorie's dropping Marge bombs in the chat, going over some running backs that are inactive this week, okay? Up next is going to be Jonathan Brooks. We talked about him a little bit with the Chuba Hubbard benching. He's a guy that you might want to add to your roster as an emergency sort of handcuff situation or as an emergency plug-and-play situation. He's a guy that they're really high on, and it'll be interesting to see what his usage is in this Philadelphia Eagles game. Up next is going to be Patrick Taylor Jr. He is going to be elevated from the practice squad for the San Francisco 49ers. So we don't really know who the true running back 2 is in San Francisco. You have Guendo as your 1. Who is going to be the 2? That's going to be interesting to have. And if anybody knows anything about San Francisco running backs, it's better to have all of them than none of them, okay? So Patrick Taylor Jr. you have coming in off the practice squad. And then you have Israel Abanikanda, okay?
Abanikanda.
Abanikanda.
Sounds like Bonita Applebaum or something.
Love it. Abanikanda. Okay. He was a guy a lot of people were high on in New York Jets. Okay. And obviously things got a little crazy over there with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. So he was expendable. The San Francisco 49ers signed him off of the Jets practice squad. Mm-hmm. So he and Patrick Taylor Jr. are going to be vying for that RB2 spot in San Francisco. So that is definitely a situation to monitor there. Up next, you got Kenneth Gainwell. He's kind of like a little bit of an interesting one because let's say the Eagles start blowing out the Carolina Panthers. The last thing you want to see is Saquon Barkley playing. Kenneth Gainwell, in situations where Saquon Barkley has taken the back seat, has put up some pretty decent numbers. So this is obviously a Hail Mary. And then there was one more guy, and I totally forgot to put him on my list, but he is going to be the running back 2 in New York for the Jets behind Braylon Allen without Breece Hall. And I'm going to figure out his name while Awthentik gives you the rest of his sleepers. But this is just a little crash course into what we're dealing with week 14 at the running back position.
Yeah, I think you're talking about either Isaiah Davis. You said with the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Right now, Isaiah Davis is listed as the 3rd behind Braylon Allen. And then they also have, this is a difficult name here, Kene Ngakoue.
Oh yeah, that man, I love that guy. He's the stud from Minnesota. That guy returns kicks for touchdowns like it's nobody's business. But yeah, I think it's you said it was Harris, right? Isaiah
Davis.
Isaiah Davis, yes.
Yeah.
He would be another guy to throw on this list as a possible Hail Mary because he came in and played a little bit last week for the Jets.
What is the Brees Hall injury again?
I don't know. I don't remember because it came up recently this week. Like,
I wonder how long he's expected to be out.
And like the Jets are in a situation where it's like, do you bring a guy like that back? Like, look at the Jaguars. The Jaguars, we were going to bring Trevor Lawrence back? No, we're going to put him on the IR. It's a wrap. So that's kind of another reason why I put some of these names on this list because some of these guys might be like late season out of nowhere guys that end up winning you a playoff game because some of these teams are going to be playing, some of these younger guys when they start getting eliminated. And then with these injuries and bye week this week, it's a crazy week for running backs.
Yeah, and super important as we get to the winter weather, that you have some capable running backs. For me, in the sleeper section, to top this off, quarterback-wise, Tua going up against the Jets. 3 straight weeks for Tua right now, over 23 fantasy points. The beard, you can thank me later, and you can thank me multiple times for that move. Jets defense has not been good on the road lately as well. 29 points to Kyler Murray, 25 points to Russell Wilson. Anthony Richardson, who struggled pretty much throughout the whole entire season, had his biggest game going up against that defense as well, 28 points in week 11. Brandon Cooks as well, going up against the Bengals. Just 40% of the snaps last week, but he still had 7 targets in a game where he only had 40% of the snaps, 10.6 fantasy points in his first game back since, I want to say the last game that Brandon Cooks played in was against the New York Giants, the first go-around. The Bengals have allowed at least 2 wide receivers to go over 10 fantasy points in 8 of their last 9 games, so I expect Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb to go off in today's game.
Wow. Some breaking news here.
What we got?
George Pickens is inactive today.
That's interesting.
Is that I don't think that's an injury-related situation. He wasn't on the injury report, was he?
I didn't see him on the injury report. The last I'd heard about George Pickens was the scene that was going viral around the internet from Hard Knocks, where Mike Tomlin is the best fucking coach in the whole damn league, man. The way that he just deals with these different type of personalities. So I no clue what it is. The breaking news had no news about it. They just said he's inactive.
Yeah, it just seemed to be inactive. I know Marjorie posted it. I just went to go check. I mean, he was in parlays. There's no way he had no injury designation going into this weekend. They say it's a hamstring. I mean, did he just do something in warm-ups? I don't remember him being on the injury report. I just don't.
He probably wasn't. Yeah, Schefter just dropped it.
It is they are officially listing it as a hamstring. That's an interesting.
They said he hurt his hamstring in Thursday's practice.
Okay. Well, there's that. So throwing wrenches in here, and Marjorie also dropping another Marge bomb says that Malik Neighbors is active, but expect him to be limited.
Interesting. What's the point of that?
At this record that you're at now?
Yeah, what's the point of that?
No point.
If you expect him to be limited, just use the roster spot for somebody else.
Okay, so Deala says that they were playing it. The Pittsburgh Steelers were doing their best Bill Belichick as far as the George Pickens injury. So that's interesting. We're going to get to a couple other questions here in the chat, and then we're going to go ahead and give you guys a rapid-fire section. Big shout-out to Duffelbag. Doug, does Keenan Allen have another big day, and should I consider him over Drake, London, or Puka?
Nope. Nope and nope. That's how I'm looking at that. Yeah, Keenan Allen, beautiful route to get in the end zone last week, too, on a bit of like a whip route, then whip back inside. Great route, but I don't see that happening. 49ers defense.
Yeah, it's trust to tough. It's tough to trust Caleb Williams. We discussed that earlier. And I just think Puka is a PPR machine.
But I wouldn't put that on Caleb. I just think Keenan Allen's getting old. And you remember the reports coming out of camp is that this dude looks washed.
Yeah.
I just think he's getting old, and that's
But
probably
he's
why the
been
Chargers
playing
parted
well
ways.
lately, though.
Yeah, that last week's game. That's really it. Like, outside of that, we have not seen the Keenan Allen that have become accustomed to seeing
Valid point.
outside of last week.
Valid point. Big shout out to G-Man. Says, thoughts on Deebo Samuel. Should I drop him and add another wide receiver?
I can't drop Debo. I'd keep him on the bench somewhere stashed. But it depends on what kind of, what kind of wide receivers are out there on the waiver for you.
Listen, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't know if I could drop Deebo Samuel. I really don't. I know it's been bad because I've been preaching about Deebo. I mean, let's look. He had 5 fantasy points, 3.1, 6.1, 12.6, 12.6, 0, 23.7, 3, 10, 0, 20. I mean, he was doing well in the beginning of the season, but he has one double-digit week in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Debo's a guy like George
200
Kittle.
yard.
It's not about him being incapable. That's the thing. So it's like when you take the numbers and throw them out, man. It's you rocking with Debo or not. He has not been playing well. That's no mystery, right? Either rocking with him or you're not. If you think you could drop him and get somebody better, do it. In my league right now, the waiver wire of wide receivers is Sterling Shepard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is out there. He's been playing pretty decent, and Dontavian Wicks. So, it gets slim in my league. I don't know about yours, but if you could pick up a player who's having more of an average, better year than Debo Samuels is, then do it. I mean, same thing goes for George Kittle and a lot of other guys. Sam Laporta was playing terrible football, but somewhere along the line, somebody's like, I'm riding with him, or I'm not. And if you decided to stay on the bandwagon for Sam Laporta, it paid off for you in the past couple of weeks.
You know what? That might be one of the best authentic explanations right there I've heard on this show.
I mean, we're not talking about Tucker Kraft, right? We're talking about a guy in Debo Samuels who got paid for a reason, and he's normally used to being a guy who's productive. He's not falling off a cliff with age or anything like that. So I think the quarterback situation plays a little bit of role into that right now with the injury to Brock Purdy. But at the end of the day, it's like, are you rocking with him or not? It's that simple, because Debo's the kind of guy that could go off for 25 today, and nobody would be surprised.
Easily, yeah. I totally agree with you. I don't think it could be said any better. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight there, G-Men. So we have reached that time, ladies and gentlemen, in the show where we're going to do some rapid fire. We're going to pick each and every single game for Week 14, the winners, the losers, the overs, the unders, and the spreads. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into it. The first game on the slate, speaking of Mr. George Pickens, it's the Cleveland Browns. They are 3-9. They are headed to Steel City to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 9-3. They're 6.5-point favorites. Over-under in this game is 43.5. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'm definitely taking the over in this one. Jameis Winston has been definitely playing a little reckless, but finding ways to move the ball nonetheless and getting the Cleveland Browns in the end zone. I'm going to go ahead and say the Pittsburgh Steelers win this game, but give me the Cleveland Browns to cover that 6.5.
I am going to double down with everything there. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win, Cleveland Browns to cover, and I will take the over as well.
Okay.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, it is the New Orleans Saints. They are 4-8. They are 5.5-point favorites. They are not the only ones flying in New York right now. Apparently, there is a banner flying across the New York Giants Stadium. The Saints are 5.5-point favorites. Over-under is 41.5. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Scores. I need scores from the preview show.
Okay. I'm going to go Saints to win. I'm going to go Saints to cover. And I'm going to take the over.
You going to take the
I
over?
have 27-17 is what I had.
27-17. Okay.
And you had New York Giants 23, New Orleans Saints 20.
20. Yeah.
All
right. So we're going with the over for sure. And New York Giants win this one outright. Saints don't impress me, man. The only game, like I went back and I looked at all their game logs, kind of looked at a little bit of highlights from each game, just seeing how Derek Carr and the rest of that offense has been moving. The only game that had me like, is the way they played against the Browns. They literally blew out the Browns. I think it was like 35-14. But that was the game where Taysom Hill had like a touchdown in every category possible.
Anomaly
like
game.
Yeah, rushing, passing, receiving, all of that. He had 3 touchdowns. He had 160-something yards on the ground. And Taysom Hill is out for the year. So for me, I looked at the way that they played a lot of these other games, and it just reminded me of the way the New York Giants play ball. So stop Alvin Kamara in this game, the Giants are going to win. I feel confident. The more and more we get closer to this game, I feel more confident that the Giants are going to win this game.
Nothing is scarier than a confident Awthentik, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Up next, we're staying in New York, but actually going to Miami. The New York Jets are 3-9. They are headed to South Beach to face the Miami Dolphins, who are 5-7. The Dolphins are 5.5-point favorites. Over under this game is 44.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sauce Gardner has officially been ruled inactive as well for this game. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
This is a coin toss type of game. I mean, it's not going to surprise me if the Jets win, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'll take the Dolphins to, they'll cover. They'll cover the 5.5, and I'm going to go under 44.5.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. Dolphins to cover 5.5, but I'm going to take the over 44.5 in this game. Okay. And speaking of South, it is a battle of the bottom of the South. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Duval, they are 2-10, just like the New York Giants. They're headed to Tennessee, who's 3-9. They're 3.5-point favorites. Over under is 39.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm assuming you'd rather Tennessee win this game because they're probably more likely to pick a quarterback than Jacksonville would be in this upcoming draft as a New York Giants fan. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans to win. I'm going to take Jacksonville to cover. I think Tennessee wins by 3. And I'm going to take the over 39.5, which is still a weird number to me. I know both these offenses stink, but their defenses are pretty bad too. I mean, I know Tennessee has a better defense than Jacksonville, but the Commanders did just put up 47,000 points last week. So give me Tennessee to win, Jacksonville to cover, and I'm going to take the over 39.5.
Yeah, the Jacksonville defense is just absolutely terrible. In points per game perspective here, Jacksonville's averaging 19 a game. The Titans are averaging 18.4. Jacksonville's at 25, Tennessee at 28. I don't care who wins this game because at the end of the day, if the Jacksonville Jaguars have the number 1 pick, that doesn't mean that they can't trade out and give it to another team, to come up and get a quarterback. I don't know if these quarterbacks in this draft, I really got to do a little bit. I'm looking forward towards the end of the season to be able to dig deep into these quarterbacks more. But I don't know if any of these quarterbacks are worthy of trading up and doing something like what they did for Bryce Young or anything like that. But as far as who wins this game, as a Giants fan, it doesn't really matter to me too much. I expect the Jaguars to go out here in their offense to be even more lackluster than they have been throughout the year with Mac Jones at quarterback, though. So I'll take the Titans in this one. I think 3.5 is just a little bit too low for me to think that the Jaguars are going to cover. So I think that the Titans will cover the 3.5. And I'll take it's probably like 23. I'm going to take over 39.5.
Up next, it is the struggling Atlanta Falcons, 6-6. They are headed to Minnesota to visit Sarah's Vikings, who are 10-2. They are 5.5-point favorites. The over/under is 46.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
Dating back to 2022, a lot of people were calling this Minnesota Vikings team fraudulent, calling them frauds and whatnot. And they went out there, parted ways with Kirk Cousins, let a lot of guys walk in free agency, started rebuilding that defense, committed to the rebuild. And here they are with 10 wins again, another season of 10 wins. I think this speaks to the infrastructure, man, the stability that starts with the coaching staff. Kevin O'Connell is a guy that can really get the best out of quarterbacks. We've been seeing that. He got better results out of Kirk Cousins than the Atlanta Falcons are getting out of him right now. And the way that Sam Darnold has been playing as of late has not been great, but we've never seen Sam Darnold play this kind of football in his career. So I got to give a lot of this to the infrastructure. Great job by the Minnesota Vikings. And simply off that, I think they'll beat the Falcons. The Falcons are an equally talented team, especially with the money that they spend on the defensive side of the ball. But I just think that the coaching with the Vikings is definitely going to give them the upper hand in this game. I think the Vikings will cover the 5.5, and they're a team that's kind of hit or miss when it comes to scoring points. They have put up some games that have been a little bit, just lower on the scoreboard and whatnot. But I think this will be one where they score a lot of points. Give me the over 46.5.
Yeah, that Falcons defense stinks. Justin Jefferson probably puts up like $160 and 2 touchdowns today. He hasn't had a touchdown in a while, so I think Justin Jefferson gets 2 touchdowns today and 160 yards receiving. Give me the Minnesota Vikings to win, cover, and I will take the over 46.5. Up next is another game that we talked about this week. That is the Carolina Panthers, who are 3-9. They are headed to Philadelphia to face the Eagles, who are 10-2. Eagles are now 13.5-point favorites. The largest the largest spread on the slate. Over under is 45.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will take the Philadelphia Eagles to win. I will take the Carolina Panthers to cover. And I think I went over on that one. I'm pretty sure I had 31-20. So, yeah, I'll take the over.
What did I have? I want to stay consistent.
You had 31-13.
Oh, okay. So we covering that. Yeah. We're going to take the cover. Guess we're not going to get there. We're not going to get to that 45.5.
Up next is going to be, there is a hell of a lot of 2-10 teams. What is going on here? The Las Vegas Raiders are 2-10. They are headed to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers and the Bucky Irvings.
The Buccaneers.
I know. I dropped it, and I just tried to slide with the way I was
freestyle.
sliding.
We're going to continue the song. They're not going to know I botched the lyrics.
They're 6-6 or 6.5-point favorites. Over under in this game is 46.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to win this game. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to cover. Actually,
I think the way that they played against the Carolina Panthers last week.
The Raiders are gonna cover that 6.5. Give me Tampa Bay to win, Raiders to cover, and I'm gonna take the over 46.5. I think this game might actually be pretty fun. I feel like any game Tampa Bay plays is fun nowadays.
Yeah, except that Carolina game. That was not fun. I mean, I guess it was fun towards the end.
It was fun for me to watch because I predicted that game.
Yeah, but it just, I thought that they would cover, and I thought it'd be an easy type of victory for them. So it makes me lean towards maybe picking the Raiders to cover this one here, but nah, man. I think that the Bucs are going to get back on track here, improve to 7-6. I think they'll cover the 5.5, 6.5, and I'm going to take the over off the strength of how many points the Bucs will score in this game.
Up next, we do see we got some questions in the chat. We're going to get to those right as soon as we finish this rapid fire. Up next, the Seattle Sea Chickens. They're 7-5. They're headed to Arizona to face the Cardinals. Not Cardinal from Toronto, but the Cardinals from Arizona. They're 6-6, 2.5-point favorites. Over under this game is 44.5. Kickoff is at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I picked the Seahawks last week to win that game outright. The Seahawks are turning the corner here, man. I'm going to pick them to beat the Cardinals today. And that 2.5 is going to be looking a little bit silly after this one, but I'll take over 44.5 on this one. I think the Seahawks will put up a lot of points, and I think the Cardinals will battle all the way throughout the fourth quarter, but the Seahawks will come out on top.
I'm going to go Arizona. I think Arizona wins this game outright. I'm going to take Arizona to cover 2.5. I think it's a 3-point game. I'm going to take the...
Should be rooting for Seattle as a Commanders fan.
Why would I do that?
I mean, you're thinking playoffs, Seattle get back here. They're going to be just a game back, y'all, along with the Seattle Seahawks. One of them got to win the division. And, just think of wild card vibes for you here, brother.
We got the tiebreaker over Arizona, though, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Arizona. I think Arizona wins. Listen, I want the Commanders to not have to rely on what everybody else does. I want us to go ahead and take care of business, okay? Win out. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win, Cardinals to cover, and I'm going to take the under 44.5.
It's going to be a sad moment and day when your Commanders don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it will be. I'm not going to lie.
Would be. I hear the fake confidence in your voice and you trying to talk through it. But when crunch time get to kicking in and your Commanders on the outside looking in, it's not going to feel that good. And you talking about all this, I want to handle business and blah, 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 blah. We'll think back to this moment right here, week 14, to parlay, 59 minutes and 49 seconds into the show. When I told you.
Listen, I know you're flying banners over MetLife right now, but don't put that bad juju on me.
That's not me. That's not me. That's me, bro. It's Chris Peace, bro. I'm telling you. That's not a me move.
You're the money behind the operation. Let's put it that way.
Now, I'm not, I'm not going to dispute or dismiss that either way.
Up next, we talked about this team way too much from them being 4-8. It's the Chicago Bears. They're 4-8. They're headed to San Francisco to face the 49ers, who are 5-7. The 49ers are 3.5-point favorites. Over-under in this game is 44.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers in this one. Listen, I think that Chicago's going to cover. I really do. Chicago is notorious for knowing how to lose a game in the last seconds, and it cost them their coach just recently here. Things are looking pretty crazy over there, but I do think that they know how to lose a close game, so I think they'll cover. Give me I'm going to go just under. I'm going to go 23-20, so I'm going to say just under the 44.5.
I would pay to see Adam Rank's reaction to hearing Awthentik say, Chicago Bears, man, they know how to lose a close game. Like, that's a good thing.
I'm going to reserve my comments on Adam Rank.
Give me the San Francisco 49ers to win, 49ers to cover. I'm going to take the under 44.5 in this game. Up next. This is a good game here. Buffalo Bills, 10-2, 3.5-point favorites only. Headed to Los Angeles to face the Rams, who are 6-6. Over-under in this game is 49.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to win, but I think the Rams cover. I think we get a 3-pointer here. And I'm going to take the over 49.5.
All wrong. It's
all wrong.
It's all going to be wrong. All right, we're going under the 49.5, and the Bills are going to cover. Listen, we just saw this Rams team last week struggling against the New Orleans Saints, okay, and had to score 14 points in the fourth quarter to escape losing to a really bad team. And you think they're going to go out here and cover against the Bills? Listen, the playoffs for the Washington Commanders, I need y'all to take a note of that.
What are we doing here?
Take a note of that one. Number 2, this one right here, I need y'all to take a note of this one right here. Bills are going to cover this easy. I'm going 28-20 in favor of the Buffalo Bills here, just under that 49.5.
All right. Up next, we got another little cooker here for Sunday Night Football. It's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. They're 8-4. They're headed to Bluegrass Picker to face the Chiefs, who are 11-1. Chiefs are only 3.5-point favorites. Kickoff is at, their over-under is 42.5. Kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'm trying to remember how the Chiefs won the first matchup between these two teams. I believe it was a pretty close game. The Chiefs are an interesting team, Bluegrass. I don't know how y'all are 11-1 right now. I really don't know. But I'll take the Chiefs to cover the 3.5. I think they're just a better team. We saw the Chargers go up against another good team this past week and struggle, I feel like, just a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs to cover. I'll take the over 42.5.
Chiefs won 17-10 in the first matchup this year.
There you go.
I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers. I think Chargers win this game outright, and I think we're going to be right under 42.5. So I'm going big this week. Up next, it is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are 4-8, and they are 5.5-point favorites in Dallas, who is 5-7. The over-under in this game is 49.5. Kickoff is Monday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would be lying if I didn't think I was a little surprised with the line in this game. Tell me what you got, Awthentik.
Line don't surprise me too much. I mean, the Bengals offense, when they are clicking, they score a ton of points. I'm taking the Bengals. I'm going to take – let me see if my results here line up with the preview show. I'm going to take the under 49.5. And I'm going to take the Bengals to win this one by about a good 10 points.
You're very close. You had Cincinnati 27, Dallas 19.
Okay.
So you're definitely there with the under. I'm taking Cincinnati. Taking Cincinnati to win, Cincinnati to cover, and I'm taking the over. I had Cincinnati 30, Dallas 22.
Commanders fans, you guys, turning into Bengals fans like the beard here today.
Today, it's kind of been a long time.
It's been a long. Well, they're going to turn into it today.
Yeah,
you, on the other hand, have been a Bengals fan since Achilles Smith was the quarterback.
Jonathan Carter.
Yeah, right. He flamed out one time.
Big shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys rocking and rolling with us. I did see a couple of comments that I was going to get to really quick before we get you all out of here. First and foremost, we have the pilots sending super chats from the sky. Big shout out to Chris Peace, who was spotted flying a banner over MetLife. We appreciate you. You must have great Wi-Fi in that single-engine airplane. He says for $1.99, I want a tie between Jacksonville and Tennessee.
And there you go. That would be a good look. Yeah, we could deal with that, but technically gives them a half a win apiece, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I might. You want chaos is what you want.
Yeah,
big shout out
Chris
to Eli Rothenberg. Should I start Ladd or Chuba? I have Brandon Hooks in case. This is easy peasy.
Brandon Hooks? Did you say Brandon Hooks?
I said Brandon Cooks. I said
Brandon Hooks would be a dope rap name right there. Brandon Hooks from the Bay. Yo.
Give me Ladd all day on this one.
Yeah, give me Ladd as well. Ladd over Brandon Cooks too, though?
Yeah. What do anything to do with Brandon Cooks?
I mean, Brandon Cooks, 7 targets last week on 40% of the snaps, bro. He only took 40%.
McConkey gets like 16 targets a game.
Where do you think Brandon Cooks will land as far as his target or his snap percentage today, going from 40% to what?
Probably like 50, 60.
I think he's going to double up.
80.
We'll check back in. I think he's going to get 80% of the snaps today.
Be interesting. To Monday night.
Oh, yeah, Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Only one to score a touchdown, I believe, from that offense in the receiving department last week as well, too, on a beautiful little crosser route, man-to-man coverage. Couldn't stick with him. It's a good ball by Cooper Rush, too.
And one more before we get you guys and gals out of here. Big shout out to MK5V Dub.
Give me Marvison. Give me Marvison.
Marvin. Give me Marvin. Yeah, I love Jacoby, right? Marvin Harrison's been up and down. No question about it, right? But I'm going to go to the Debo rule with Awthentik on this one. So give me Marvin.
I don't know if the Debo rule applies here, though.
I mean,
Marvin Harrison's a rookie, man. Debo been doing this for a
long
time.
We riding with Marvin.
Do you think you have an assessment on Marvin Harrison yet? Like, let's use him, man, Malik Neighbors before we get up out of here. Do you think that they're wide receiver ones already? Do you think you know that for a fact?
That's a damn good question.
Yeah. You know what I've been wanting to look at with Malik Neighbors, because the talk about Malik Neighbors in the past couple of weeks has been no rookie has ever had this many receptions through this many games, right? I want to see how many rookies were getting near these kind of targets. Because there were arguments about Malik Neighbors coming in as a rookie and that he would not breach 100 targets. He's well over 100 targets already, and we have plenty of football left to play. So to me, receptions, it's not really a number that deems you a wide receiver one per se. And I'm not sitting up here saying that Malik Neighbors is not a wide receiver one, but at the same time, the receptions is not going to be the reason why I do it. I mean, they've over-targeted this guy. I'll look it up once we get off, but I'm curious to see what rookies got the most targets at wide receiver.
Yeah, I would lean 51-49% as to wide receiver one already.
For both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more worried about Marvin Harrison than I am with Malik, because Marvin, you could tell there's a reason why he didn't run the 40 at the combine. You could tell. He lacks that. He lacks that real wide receiver one explosivity, I feel like. But he makes up for it with how clean his routes are.
Yeah. Big shout out to Lucas for the Miami Dolphins super chat, the $3.05.
I know, and the one was me.
He asked us about anytime touchdown scores last week. He round robined them, so he ended up winning because he there's an option where you can put a round robin on a bet like that. But we had 3 out of 4 anytime touchdowns last week. So big
to
shout
think
out.
That Derrick Henry was the guy that didn't score is
Right?
just crazy.
Just goes to show you that Philadelphia Eagles defense is something else. So,
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here, you want to give him because he wants to know what y'all got this week.
This week, touchdown, anytime touchdown at any position. Let me take a quick gander at the matchups real quick. Ooh. All right. This is gonna be a reach. I'm gonna go with one reach and one guy who's more expected. Tony Pollard going up against the Jaguars today.
Love it. Love it.
And I'm gonna go with Isaac Guerendo going up against the Bears.
Oh, damn. That's good. That's good. Ugh, that's very good.
I like
okay.
Chase Brown against the Cowboys.
Yeah. I'm going to go Mike Evans. I'm going to go Mike Evans. I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet.
Wait, why are we loading up the third name?
And I'm gonna give you a flyer.
Flyer.
One of these 3 tight ends will score a touchdown. George Kittle, Trey McBride, or Brock Bowers. That's my little third little wheel right there.
Could have did without that.
Yeah, but I like to give people options.
What is he gonna do with that option?
Maybe he just runs a parlay with those 3 guys.
All of them.
All of them.
Good luck, Lucas. Good luck, man. Appreciate you tapping in and appreciate you supporting the channel, my
Big
dog.
shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the love and all the support. We're going to get you guys out of here in time to fill out those lineups, make those bets. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter at Tim Walk on Water 2, at Awthentik, where you guys can find all the up to the minute appearances where you may find myself and Awthentik. Giant overreaction tomorrow. Bleacher Report today, I believe, for Mr. Awthentik.
Yes, sir. About 4:15 on the Bleacher Report vibes today. Absolutely doing a giant overreaction tomorrow because it's going to be our first Victory Monday in 7 weeks.
Are you gonna? Are we gonna book this one? Are you booking it?
I booked it. It's
booked. It's booked.
It's booked. The tickets are bought.
Tickets are bought.
Flight to the giant overreaction.
Shout out Expedia. We would love a sponsorship. I mean, that would be a great idea. If you were Expedia and you wanted to sponsor like a show like us, the Book It section sponsored by Expedia.
Oh, I like that. Or it could be just booking.com.
Yeah, booking.com, Travelocity. I mean, listen, hotels.com. Yeah. Listen,
it's my dude, William Shatner.
Emails on the YouTube page.
Spokesman for that joint. Emails on the YouTube page. Nah, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Best of luck today in y'all fantasy. I know the Beard said he's starting playoffs in one league, so if you're starting playoffs today, hopefully you can get that dub and continue to advance and then get yourself a trophy, and then you can come back and thank us for all of our financial advice that we have given out this season for free. Shout out to everybody who sends in the super chats because that is the only way that we have any financial gain on this show when giving out free financial advice that is going to take you to a champion. It's the road to the championship with Awthentik. And whose man's is this? All right. Beard, you got any last words before we get him out of here?
I don't have anything left.
He truly has no words this time. Y'all know what it is, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. And a life without dreams is a life in black and white. Rest in peace to the podcast, GOAT Combat Jack. Hey, I'm going for a 2-game winning streak in fantasy this week, man. Let's go. Dave Montgomery off to a good start. I just saw he was named the most underrated player in the NFL, and I do agree with that. He's been hooping for sure. But y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. I know I will. Stay tuned to the channel, all the New York Giants fans, for the compilation of all of Drew Lock throws coming after this game. You guys are a very lucky bunch that you guys get to get that here. It's Drew Lock. I mean, let's keep it real here. But we will catch y'all on the next vibe. See y'all on Monday. And if you want to pull up the Bleacher Report, we'll be over there at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all be good. Enjoy the rest of y'all football Sunday, man. What a vibe. Peace.
Peace.
Mike don't care.